And that's where they would do all these things in this meeting house. Asking, why couldn't they just organize that thing there? They have
many names on it, it won't be flat enough to write their work.
But this is a Review and Herald publishing office. So you don't get all.
So they built this. They had it in.
Sign David Hewitt. Who is David Hewitt? Well, who was David Hewitt? Well, as you know, Joseph Bates was looking for the most honest man in town. And he asked the man and said, who is the most honest man? And he went to the post office and asked the manager, who's the most honest man in town? And they said David Hewitt. So he went to his house and told him about the Sabbath. And they kept the very next Sabbath. As you know, guys, this is the home of James and Ellen White.
It was twice as big as their parents' house.
Oh, that house is pretty large. And they lived in this house from 1856 to 1863. And plus, there are a lot of other houses that they lived in. There are a couple others that they lived in. And they visited Joseph Bates. Before Ellen was married.
So this is the house they lived in.
That's a pretty long
So
time.
they lived in for, you can say 6 years? No, 7 years. They lived in this house for 7 years, and it would that the first 2 children were born in this house. So this is the house, kind of old, but it's still in good shape now.
John Herbert was born in this house, and
yeah, he was born 1863. He was born, December 1863. So the first 3 children were born in this house. Okay, it's an interesting house.
oh yeah, look inside. I see apples and
Typewriters and things. It's very interesting.
By the way, these houses are not remodeled. So they're I guess you can say the same way.
I see a furnace in the house. There's a furnace and an old sink that they use to wash things. Oh, come see. Look inside. See, an old typewriter.
Where is it? Oh, the typewriter.
Well, not the typewriter. I mean, an oven. And see, in the back, if we move the camera here, in the back, all the way in the back, that's where they used to dry their vegetables in the back hooks, right there. And that table right here, that was their sink. See, there's soap and potatoes that they were washing as their sink. Interesting. As you see here, we're in Battle Creek, and we're now touring this wonderful place, the historic Adventist village. As you see, this house right here, or this one, I'm not really too sure. Yeah, that house right there we see is the home of J. and Mary Loughborough, 1857 to 1866. They lived in this house. So they lived for 9 years in this house, and this is a story when I'm sure most of us know John Loughborough, when his grandfather took him to church, right? And he always wanted to be good, so he always wanted to read about the Bible and learn more about Jesus. And then when he heard Jay and Andrews preach, he decided to give his heart to Jesus. But some believers moved to the west, Waukon, Iowa, but they became absorbed in work and did not want to do what God wanted them to do. Until Ellen White went to Waukon and said for them, and started a revival there. So this is their house. Probably they walked in, and this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. As you see, this is the house of John and Betsy White. John and Betsy White were the parents of James White, James Springer White. I'm sure they lived in this house he lived in this house when he was a young child, and they had 8 children in this house. 8 children. They lived in this house for about 11 years. 11 years. They lived in this house. As you see, it's a bit old now, but that's what they lived in. He had brothers and sisters: Samuel White, John White, Mary White, all of those his brothers and sisters. He was the youngest out of all of them. So this is the house where he grew up.
This is the house of William White, one of the sons of Ellen White. As you know, he had really one sibling, which is sad. But you might say, why does he have one sibling? Why doesn't he have more? Well, he actually was going to have 2 more, but both of them died.
This house, the home of William C. White, is behind us. It has his family was very interesting. His wife, he had his first 2 daughters, Ella and May White, by his first wife, Mary. She died of age 33 of lung tuberculosis. He had 2 more children, twins, by the way, Henry and Herbert. Those names sound familiar because their grandmother, Ellen White, named them. She named Henry after her first son. She named Herbert after her little son that died by a few months old. They had some more children, 2 more, Grace and Arthur. Arthur was the last child to be mentioned, and he died 1991.
Oh, I have a few facts about Arthur. Well, Arthur, he actually worked in the Ellen G. White estate, but he died in 1991. And as you know, there's another lady named Norma Collins. She actually was his assistant.
So that house is very, very big to house 6 children in this house. And you see, he only lived there for 4 years, but this house is very, very big. So this is his family's house. This is the house of Percy and Ida Megan. They lived in this house for 6 years. Percy is known for founding a college with another man, Sutherland. They were sitting in a log by a little creek, and they were crying because they said the land is bad. How are we going to garden? How are we going to do these things in it? But God, through Ellen White, said to them, this is the land that God wants for us, and it prospered. And this is the house that they lived in. See, it's very, very big. They lived in this house for 6 years. So the Washington hand press, what they did, they had to do them by hand. As more things were coming in, more papers, more articles, they could not do it. One person had to do all of that work, and they had so many things to publish, it was not enough. So what they did, they had it's not in here, but they had another one, the steam press, that they bought for $14,000 or around that. So they built this. They had it in. Now it would work by steam. They just stick in the papers and it come out fresh. The nice articles they like. See, that's the house. That's what they used. It was called a publishing house. It's not like the ones we have in modern times, but that's what they have now.
Okay, everybody, this is the meeting house that they had from 1857 to 1867, exactly 10 years. They had this one. I do not know much about the meeting house, but I know this is a place they would have church and there's a specific word I'm looking for, church and meetings, and it just happened last week, this camp meeting. What's it called? Okay, whatever it's called. So, and they would have all these, and all the pioneers would gather in the building, and they would sing songs of praise, and they would read the Bible, and that's what they would do, all these things in this meeting house. This church is a first Seventh-day Adventist church before they organized. Well, you might have been asking, why couldn't they just organize that same day they had the church? Because number one, there was prejudice against the white and black. And number two, they also said, when organizing is Babylon, we're not gonna we can't organize the church like that. We can't just have like deacons and stuff. Well, if you have people in special positions, special offices, then everything is gonna run smoothly instead of people just saying, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. That doesn't even sound neat. But this is a first Seventh-day Adventist church before they organized, and this is in 1861. That's the very first Seventh-day Adventist church. Guys, right here is a big lump of where James and Ellen White died.
I don't know if you can quite see it, but this is James White. He was born in Palmyra, Maine, August 4, 1821, Battle Creek, Michigan. He died. That's his burial place. August 6, 1881, he died. If we turn on this side, you probably might see Ellen White information. Right here on this side, she was born Gorham, Maine, November 26, 1827. She died at St. Helena, California, July 16, 1915. And see, as you see here, this is not the actual burial place, but this is their burial place. The father, which is James White, mother, Ellen G.
That's
White.
the real place they're buried.
Henry Nichols White, eldest son of James and Ellen G. White, died December 8, 1863.
He was 16 years and 3 months old.
And John Herbert White, youngest son of James and Ellen White, died December 14, 1816. This is the father of James White. He died July 5, 1871, 86 years old. That's the mother of James White, Miss Betsy White, died January 9, 1871, so she was the first one to die. She was 83 years old. Clarissa Bonfoy was the White's helper. She died May 30, 1856. She died at a young age of 35. July 28, 1849, died May 30, 1926. This is Ethel May, the wife of W.C. White, born September 8, 1873, died September 7, 1969. Another wife of Willie, born April 20, 1857, died June 18, 1890. This is Willie himself. He was born August 29, 1854, died September 1st, 1937. Our pioneers, they lived here. They lived and died, and they founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church. As you see, this is the family of the Whites, and this is the family of Kellogg. So we have to thank God. We have to thank God for them, because they founded our Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now we're so happy that we can. It's a privilege for us to see their graves, because we know that they have founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church.